Hey there, fools. Big T here, and I'm back with another video. We got more games on the Switch. Current generation games that most people wouldn't think would come to the Switch. Alien Isolation, maybe. It was still a surprise because nobody even was thinking about that game, but it was a surprise. But I guess The Witcher 3 somehow got leaked out a little bit beforehand, so it was on people's minds, and people were still kind of skeptical. I was, not because I thought the game couldn't run on the Switch. It's just that the size of the game fitting on a Nintendo Switch cart was my issue. So obviously they've rectified that some way, I think, because the game's supposed to be on a cartridge completely with all the DLC, which is, to me, mind-blowing. And if that's the case, I will be double dipping and buying the game again, because I have it on Xbox One. I played it and beat it on there, and it's a really good game. CD Projekt Red is a really good studio. They care about the fans, and they like to support, and they put a lot of value into their games. So that's very cool. And so yeah, we're getting Witcher 3 on the Switch, and so it just made me think about more support. But also because of the Banjo-Kazooie reveal in Smash, which was also mind-blowing and amazing. And I'm sure most of you guys have probably seen my reactions to that. It was pretty damn cool. And we've talked a while about Microsoft and Nintendo's kind of partnership, the survive together type of thing. And they've been Microsoft's been putting their games on the Switch. I'm not sure what Microsoft's getting out of the deal. They might want to reevaluate some things there. Other than obviously making money off of these games, that might be enough for them. So, you start thinking about, well, what else can come? What else would be a good fit? And so for me, it's all about what's a good fit. I don't think everything should come. I don't expect Halo on a Nintendo Switch like some people may. But I think there are some games that would be a good fit. Super Lucky Tales is actually one of them. I guess this is kind of a new version. I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention, but they're saying it's a new take on the game. That's why they call it New Super Lucky Tales. And people seem to like it, so maybe I'll check it out. It's a physical cart, so that's always a plus. So I was thinking about more games like that. Obviously, with Banjo-Kazooie being one, the biggest one is Rare Replay. Now, I don't think probably every game from Rare Replay should be in a new Switch game called Rare Replay. Mainly because not every game, and I'm not sure which ones there are. I'm sure it's the bigger ones. I know Cameo and the Banjo-Kazooie games aren't actually on the disc. You're basically getting the Xbox Live arcade versions, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. I downloaded these games to my hard drive some time ago, so I can't exactly remember. But I believe you're accessing in some way Xbox 360's Xbox Live arcade, and that's how you get to play like Banjo-Kazooie and whatnot. Definitely the games that graced Nintendo consoles now, but maybe Cameo could be a solo game for $20. I would pay $20 for Cameo separately because Rare Replay, what was it when it first came out? $30. It's $30 for 30 hit games, so it's like $1 a game. So they were charging $1 basically. The Switch is really good at being a system that highlights games that were either forgotten, or people just didn't pay that much attention to when they came out. So I think games that maybe were good quality games, like Kingdoms of Amalur or something like that on 360, which I think there was a rumor that might come, because I think THQ owns that IP now. They own everything almost. But I think stuff like that would do really well on the Switch, because it would feel like a new game because most people didn't play it. So even if you think about a game like LA Noire, it's a quote unquote big Rockstar game. A lot of people remember it, but a lot of people did not play that game, and so it felt like a new experience. But even a better fit would be a game that didn't have the name recognition that a LA Noire has. And so like I said, a game like Kingdoms of Amalur would get that love. And Rare Replay, everybody wants Rare Replay on Nintendo Switch. Pretty much all Nintendo fans who are fans of Rare want Rare Replay on Nintendo Switch. It's a no-brainer, and it should come. Now I think, like I said, I'm not sure if it can come all in one cart, because that's just not feasible, I don't think, because of bigger size games like the Viva Pinata games and Cameo, like I said, even Perfect Dark Zero. Those are bigger games that may give it trouble to fitting onto one cart. But for me, I just want the Nintendo Legacy stuff, and maybe Cameo, because Cameo, if you didn't know, was a game that was started development on the N64, was slated to come out for the GameCube, but obviously Microsoft bought Rare, so that didn't happen, and so Rare ended up working on it more once they got over into the Microsoft camp, and they decided to put it out on the 360, and they put it out as a launch title. And like I said, Cameo is a good game, but a lot of people just missed it, didn't buy it, because one, that crowd wasn't really into the type of game that Cameo is, and there was just a lot of other kind of wow factor stuff to deal with on the Xbox during its launch. So I mean, you couldn't buy all those games at once, so I think it just kind of got lost in the shuffle. And I think I wouldn't mind paying $20 separately for that game on a cart, because it just feels like it should be on a Nintendo console. And obviously for Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie and even some of the older Rare games, Battletoads and whatnot, they would fit right at home on a Nintendo Switch. They can just come on home, just like Banjo did on Smash Brothers. So, and hopefully this leads into Banjo-Kazooie getting a new game, which would be great. I don't know who would develop it, but I would love to see it. Maybe it could be some kind of joint venture between the Playtonic group and Nintendo and Microsoft coming together and making that happen. That's a dream of mine. I don't know if that's going to happen, but a game like that would do, or those games would do well, I think, on the Switch. And another game that was kind of forgotten, that's kind of a cult classic. People talk about it, but I don't think enough people have played it, and that is Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive, from the beginning, felt like it should be on a Nintendo console, because of the emphasis of its kind of cartoony art style. It just didn't fit into my belief of what most Xbox fans look for. They look for kind of that cinematic, quote-unquote realistic photorealism in the graphics and stuff, kind of more cinema-based, movie-based looking stuff. And a game like Sunset Overdrive just kind of they didn't care for. And this game, it sold okay, but it definitely didn't hit any kind of expectations. It didn't sell that great. And I believe the team, Insomniac, they still own the IP. So it would be kind of strange, I think, because of what happened with the first one. Microsoft has kind of control over the first game. I could be wrong about that, but they were looking for a publisher so they can develop a part 2 to Sunset Overdrive, and Microsoft didn't want to do it. I think they even shopped it to Sony. I think that was the talk, and I wish they would have went to Nintendo. Maybe they did, because there was this talk a few months back about another Bayonetta style get for Nintendo. There's another game that's going to piss people off, certain fans, that it's going to be on Nintendo console, and the rumor is that it's Sunset Overdrive 2 or something like that. So that could be a thing that's already happening. But yeah, definitely a game like Sunset Overdrive would do well on the Switch, because it just seems like any game of this kind of scale, a current gen game especially, maybe a late last gen game, would do well on the Switch, and would get more eyes on it, because I think a lot of people just miss a lot of these, especially late 360 games. I think a lot of people miss those, and a lot of those were really good 360 PS3. because they were getting really close to the next generation. And so graphically, a lot of those games really look good. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but maybe I'll put up some pictures next to my head here, so you see what types of games I'm talking about. But I think those games would do well and would be an easier, not easier, but would be definitely easier. It would be an easier port to do than a current gen game, and they would just get more eyes on them, I think, and it would excite people to see a games these size, games, with this kind of content on that little, little portable handheld home console hybrid that could. So, and I remember a while ago, somebody talking to the Titanfall developers saying that, are you guys thinking about making a game for Switch? And I think the guy laughed. And Titanfall 2 is a really good game. I did not buy this game new because I don't support EA and their BS. So I believe I got this game for 17, not even that much, probably like $15. And it has a really good, I haven't played any of the multiplayer, but it has a really good single player campaign. Really good. And, the guy that laughed about that, if they can get The Witcher 3 on the Switch, I'm pretty sure this game isn't crazily graphically intense or anything, or it's huge in size or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they can get this on the Switch. But the problem is EA. I mean, that's just a problem. The guy should be laughing to keep him crying because he works for EA. It's just sad because this is the type of game, that EA should be bringing over to the Switch. Putting a little bit of effort into getting a house, a smaller house, like a panic button to do the port and pay for that port. Because this game would do well on the Switch. I believe it will. It didn't do well on the other consoles. It did okay. Like I said, it kind of bombed. But I think on the Switch, it can get it could get fresh pairs of eyes, and it would be one of the few games like it. There aren't really any games of this kind of ilk, first-person shooter of this kind of style on the Switch, and it would get, I think it would get a lot of good attention. But unfortunately, EA, all they put on the Switch are lackluster FIFA games. Not that anything's wrong with FIFA, it's just that the versions that Nintendo gets are in the previous gen and they're in a different engine, which that's fine, but it doesn't get all the content, so that's not fine. So unfortunately, studios aren't thinking that way. I think they should. I think THQ Nordic is thinking that way, and they're fast becoming one of my favorite third-party publishers out there and developers. And I just think if you're a company with an IP that's a game that came out, didn't do that great, maybe it was in a crowded market or something like that, or people just forgot it just got skipped over because it didn't have the name, put it on the Switch. Put some work into it. Put it out in a time like earlier in the year, the January, February, March, that time of year where Nintendo doesn't seem to put out anything of significance, nothing big usually. They put out their smaller stuff, and there's just not enough in that part of the year. Think about doing that. I think that would be a good idea. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this. You agree? You think more companies should put together, find their old games that are quality games that for whatever reason just didn't do well. Maybe they came out at the end of the 360 PS3 era and just were looked over. There's one game I can't remember right now. I think Capcom published it. It's this game, and I can't remember its name, but it looks fantastic visually. I think it would do well to come out to the Switch, even if it's just an eShop thing. Do it. You're gonna get some more eyes. You're gonna get some more excitement from fans who want, third-party, different style games that Nintendo puts out. And I think it'd be a good investment. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching and listening. And see you fools next time. Peace out.